bench is a part of the urban culture. Every hood has a bench. If you want to find out what's going on, the current events, your daily news and your news that you go to that bench. Every hood has one.
Bench talk, listen to that bench talk. It's that bench talk. I like that bench talk. I'm feeling like Curry when he had the three.
Yeah. Energy up. We need all the energy. We are finally here. We would like to welcome you all to Bench Talk 718, baby.
Let's go.
Yo, we finally here. I'm so excited. I'm with my big brothers. I'm Ty, this is Mo, and this is Var. We're so happy to be here with you guys. It's been a long time coming, and finally, we getting this thing started, right? Shout out S Street Media. Thank you, S Street Media, for giving us the platform to be able to do what we do. Shout out to them. You can follow them, S Street Media. We also want to give a shout out to Young Nation. Young Nation is the one who take care of our apparel. Give it up for Twin, Melita. Thank you for your support. Part of the team.
Appreciate you.
You can follow her, young.nation19. We want to give a special shout out to AZ for that wonderful intro song. You see, we was in here bouncing to it, doing a little dance. You know, it's that bench talk. Got that bench talk. I don't want to get started.
Trying to come correct.
Yeah, you got to come correct when you get the bench talk, right? You can follow us, the Bench Talk team. Bench Talk _718 on Instagram. That's Bench Talk _718. We also have a YouTube page that's at Bench Talk 718. I'm Ty. You can find me on Instagram at TyRich _90. First thing y'all need to know, this is the biggest fact about me. I'm loyal, I'm a great teammate, I'm all about the team, and I'm a huge Knicks fan. Okay? I am one of the biggest Knicks fans there are. So for everybody that's gonna be supporting us and showing us love, I could take it. I already know everybody wants to say the Knicks suck, all this other stuff. Doesn't really matter to me, all right?
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, it's going to come. I know. People going to have a lot to say, but it's always Knicks tape over here, all right? So with that being said, I'm biased as well. So just know, Ty not going to be truthful about that. He might be quiet during that moment, or he going to talk some other nonsense, but especially when it comes to that. You got something to say? I got something for you.
Like Ty said, piggyback off him. My name is Mo. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Mobama. Like Obama, or just with the Mo. Y'all see us in here, uniform, like we play sports. We all got in the same shirt, our apparel, Bench Talk. But what Bench Talk means to me is like, it could be a microcosm of sports. It could be the bench in your neighborhood, wherever you get together with your friends, family, whoever, and talk your shit, man. Like, you got a bottle of Hennessy. I mean, whatever you drink, whatever's your vice or whatever, you out there talking about this and that. And that's what's important to me. I be online, I be on Instagram, I be on Facebook, talking all the time about sports. So, why not get together and do it with people you love who got a knack and a lot of knowledge about the game? My brother, Vol, passes to you. Let him hear what he got to say.
What up, world? It's Vol kicking in. We've been in the crib so many times, or in the park, or around the way, just talking about a basketball podcast. This is a way of life. This is a brand, and we mean this. We heavy into this, and we're going to pour everything we have into it. So if you out there, you watching, you support us, we love y'all, and the brand is just going to grow. This is the first of many, and like I said, we just happy to be here, man. Bench Talk with us, our platform, we talking about sports. We done played this out. We've been at restaurants, bars, just chilling, breaking day, talking about sports. So you're going to see what we all about here, man. I got Ty Rich. He's a great dude, funny guy. And everybody who know Mo know he in reserve. So you're going to see all of that too. So you'll see on the show, we don't have friends, we have family. So when we do have guests up here, best believe it's family, man. And I mean that. Everybody from Alita who did the great gear with us. We had AZ. It was a call through a friend, a link. Song is done in 2 days, not even 2 days. And you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that throughout. Great song. We're going to promote y'all. We're going to show love. That's what we do. So with that being said, that's our first quarter. So every basketball game, when you in the pros, because it's not the little leagues, we ain't doing two halves. It's the pros. Every game got 4 quarters, and you just got hit with the first one.
Shout out to our architect. That's the architect right there, y'all.
Make it all come together.
That's the reason why we here. The architect.
So now we're going to transition into the second quarter, y'all. Second quarter, for us, we went with our NBA predictions of the season. So, without further ado, I'll let you know where I stand, coming right up with you.
Follow the page, Bench Talk 718. Bench Talk 718. If you ain't hear it the first 17 times, you're going to hear it the 18th time. Follow Bench Talk 718, or you can follow Obama, Ty Rich, or Vufo.
All through the show. Once again, that's Bench Talk _718. I don't want anybody saying they can't find us. I got you, brother. That's why we a team. Bench Talk _718 on Instagram.
There's the little things that count. So, without further ado, I'm going to go into my predictions, right? I was kind of up in the air with my MVP for the year, right? I put Luka because I feel like he's been balling. He's special. He's a talent. He's a killer. And I think it's his time. But that little light-skinned boy out in the Bay, man, I'm not the biggest Curry fan, but I'm not a hater. That boy is special. When he put on, everybody always said Curry was a part of a team concept, right? But you've seen him get 40. You've seen him get 50. You've seen the selfish part of him. And that's what I like. So I'm up in the air. I know this is episode 1. I'm saying Luka, but I like the light-skinned boy out in the Bay, man. Y'all know I am the biggest Kyrie Irving fan in the world. That's my bias.
Shout out to Kyrie.
I'm fucking with Kyrie. Yes. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. I'm gonna stay on point. So my most improved player, I don't know if this guy could really improve because he's already an all-star. I'm going with Donovan Mitchell. I like the move to the Cavs. I didn't know how it was going to work, but I feel like I'm picking him as my most improved because you could possibly see the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. They have all the pieces in place. He's a killer. And if he leads the team to the Eastern Conference Finals, I see a big accolades behind his name. My 6th man of the year is in a starter role right now. I'm going with Cameron Payne out with the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul being hurt, he's stepping up. He's balling, looking like he fit. I only thought the boy could dance when he was at OKC, tell you the truth. I didn't know he could hoop.
And handshakes. He had the best handshakes and dance moves in the NBA.
But now that and I want to say this, we all look at the game and we say people are like, yo, he's whack. No, there's nobody in the NBA that's whack. There's about 230, I don't know how many jobs in there, and these are the best people in the world. So shout out to all those guys who made it. We don't know what they had to go through to get there, but shout out to all those guys, man. Rookie of the year. Big college guy. I'm not a Duke fan. I will let you guys know that. But the boy Paolo Banchero out in Orlando, I feel like you see big things coming. To me, he's a bigger version of Grant Hill. I know he's not more of a point guard, but he's special. So I'm going with Banchero for my Rookie of the Year. And then we went with our Eastern Conference votes. I'm a little torn, so I told you I'm biased. I'm going with the Nets. But I also like those boys out in the Beantown, so we'll see what the Celtics do.
Oh, man. All picks are subject to change, weekly basis injuries. You know, we reserve the right to change our picks.
The Nets ain't getting there.
I'm staying pat on Kyrie, though. That's not changing. In the West, I got the Warriors. Say what you want. They know how to win until somebody knocked them down. I'm not a Golden State fan, but I respect what they do day in, day out. They built their teams from the draft. They build from the ground up. Until somebody knocked them boys off the stool, I'm rocking with the Warriors. And then for my champs, man. I got the Brooklyn Nets as my champs, man.
If Brooklyn bias was a person, starting off, if bias was a person, right? Jesus.
We're going to remember this day. You said the Brooklyn Nets win the championship.
If not the little light-skinned boys in Golden State. All right, then in my sleeper team for the year, I'm going with the Cavs. And my breakout performer, I got the boy Anthony Simmons out in Portland. I feel like he got the big contract he's going to live up to. I don't know if he's going to live up to that, but I feel like he's in the right role with Dame being hurt. I feel like he's in a breakout performer role.
That's what's up. That's a nice pick right there. I like that pick.
That's not bad.
So, Mo, with my picks being out the way, tell me who you got lined up.
Who I got lined up? Okay, so to piggyback off you, I'm going to start with the MVP. My MVP, I was torn between two people, but I ended up picking Jason Tatum. I went with Jason Tatum. Boston made a run to the finals last year. He didn't look too great in the NBA Finals. I think the moment was too big for him. But coming out to start this year, I mean, looked like he playing against himself, even with all the turmoil that's going on in Boston with their coaches and everything. They're still first in the East, first in the NBA, I believe. And that's mostly in part to Jason Tatum. So I got Jason Tatum for MVP.
Solid.
Most improved. I was torn between two people. So the people I went with De'Aaron Fox out in Sacramento and Lauri Markkanen out in Utah.
Solid.
So beginning of the season, if I would have told you Utah and Sacramento would have been in the playoff race, I probably would have laughed at me and tried to put some money on that. Now, De'Aaron Fox looking like an all-star and Laurie Markkanen looking like an all-star too. Utah's supposed to be tanking for the number 1 pick, but they both got their teams in the playoff contention. I think they're going to be there at the end, maybe not top 6, but definitely in that play-in mix. So I think one of those 2 guys definitely deserve most improved player. My 6th man of the year, this person got MVP already, and I feel like he's going to get 6th man. He's accepted his role. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook out in L.A.
Wow.
So,
Little rage.
yeah, so Russ went through a lot last year. People saying he need to get traded, he need to retire. I think it was a lot of him being in LA. But this small sample size we got for like the past 2 weeks, he's been balling back to himself, and most importantly, it looks like he's having fun.
Is he leading the league in assists?
For bench players, I checked it. Bench players, Bench Talk. Follow us, Bench Talk _718. We see how that transition. But I got Russell Westbrook right now for my 6th man of the year. Rookie of the year, I got Paolo Banchero as well. The numbers he was putting up as the number 1 pick, target on his back. He's been coming in, averaging about 18.7 rebounds, putting on a couple 30-point games. I think he's definitely the future of the NBA, or one of the people of the future in the NBA, because Paolo's a good dude. I like Paolo. I like his game a lot. Look out for Orlando, too. They're a nice young team. Now, my Eastern Conference and Western Conference champs. To piggyback off Jason Tatum being MVP, I think he's going to ride that out. I got Boston coming out the East and coming out the West. I got that boy, number 77 in Dallas, Luka Doncic in the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, wow, that's big.
Luka, I feel like they made a run to the Western Conference Finals last year. You look at, if I ask somebody on the street to name Dallas starting 5, you probably can't. But that's how much faith I got in Luka and Jason Kidd and that staff over there. I think they're gonna get it together and they're gonna find themselves in the championship. I believe in Luka. I'm a big fan. And saying that, the NBA champs, I'm gonna ride with Boston. They young, but they proven and they tested. I like Boston to win the NBA championship, barring no injuries, things stay the same. That Tatum and Brown mixed with the veteran Al Horford, and you got Marcus Smart, sleepy pickup, Malcolm Brogdon to come off the bench, get them stability. When things get a little shaky, you got a solid point guard to weather the storm. So I got Boston winning the championship. My sleeper team, that's another piggyback off my most improved player. I got the Sacramento Kings, man. Sacramento doing their thing out there. They balling. Shout out to Mike Brown. He got the young boys balling. You got Sabonis out there, Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox combined back together from Kentucky. Kevin Huerter shooting the shit out the ball. Right now, they got a nice young mix of players and veterans over there, and I think they're going to definitely be one of the teams in the playoffs.
He came from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Kevin Huerter, the Red Rocket. That's his name. He's from upstate New York, actually.
He was with Trae Young.
Yeah. All right. So he out there doing his thing in Sacramento.
And
last but not least, my breakout performer, I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out in OKC.
That's a solid pick. I like that pick.
I don't know. I think
that's a good pick.
Yeah, so if you watch basketball, if you're into basketball, if you don't know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. Number 2, if you play FanDuel, Shai is good for 25 and over every night because the boy gets buckets on whoever or whenever, how he like it or whatever. So Shai, that's my breakout performer. You don't get to see a lot of OKC games, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Ty, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. Well, that was a great pick. I don't want to steal your pick. I don't
Appreciate
want to say, Ty, piggyback and all that.
Great minds think alike. It's okay.
Yeah. The one thing I will admit, I do agree with you for MVP, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is doing his thing. Like, to see what happened from last year, not only, him and his partner, right, Jalen Rose. I mean, Jalen Rose. Wow. Jalen Rose is watching us?
You got the first name right.
Yeah. Yo, Jaylen Brown, JB. Jaylen Brown is playing ball too, but I do have Tatum as the MVP.
Okay.
Most improved player. I'm surprised neither one of you picked him, but I have to say Tyrese Maxey picked up a lot of the slack. I mean, he got well known last year for contributing to their winning, but this year so far he's been on a roll. So I got to say, I like him as most improved player. 6th man of the year, I got to go with Jordan Poole.
Solid.
The other light-skinned boy over there, there's a few of them, but the one that come off that bench, 6th man of the year, Jordan Poole is nasty. We done seen him in the starting role. We done seen him off the bench. But at this point,
we done seen him get knocked out. Sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I didn't want to do that. I not on this platform.
You can still play. You can still play, though.
Would you be cool with your man if he snapped you like that?
Nah,
I wouldn't be that cool. I don't know, because some people say it's business. Some people do say it's business.
It is business.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to slap fives with you and everything. That's a topic for another day.
Right.
That whole situation was crazy.
Shout out to Jordan Poole.
Shout out to Jordan Poole for taking that like a man. But listen,
Shout out to Draymond.
the bullies. You like bullies. Yeah, Jordan Poole, 6th man of the year for me. Rookie of the year. I went somewhere else. My pick, I chose Benedict Mathurin. That kid right there is showing me a little something. He's stepping up the ladder. He's moving up the ladder very fast. His coach loves him. I never seen Rick Carlisle speak so highly of a rookie like that, other than Luka. Like Luka, he showed a lot of love to, but it seemed like there's a little friction between him and Luka. But this kid right here, he loves him.
I like that.
He's putting Indiana on the map. With all the trade talks, they know that they said that the big man wanted to get up out of there. They thought he was going to the Lakers. I know that's your
Turner.
team. It's Miles Turner. Yeah. But now they trying to get things together. I'm not saying they're a great team, but that rookie, he does. Sky's the limit for him, too.
I like that pick.
Yeah, I like
Solid.
that guy.
I like Ben.
Benedict is doing his thing. We got to show love. For my defensive player of the year, I got to go with Giannis. I got to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's my man, the Greek freak. I mean, not only is he dominant on the offensive end, that guy's a defender for real. Like, you try to challenge him, every now and then a few guys get a dunk on him or whatnot. He's been on the poster a few times, but overall, he's a great defender.
He win more than he lose as far as defensive matchups. I give him that.
I gotta show respect, and I pick him as a defensive player of the year.
One thing I like about Greek Freak is his effort, man. He's a superstar that plays hard. Like some superstars take games off or manage minutes, but he's out there. You know what I like about him? You know what I really like about him?
What is it?
He has a bodyguard.
And that's his brother. Yeah. Protect the bread.
I understand all that, but I didn't like when I saw him picking his boogers. I ain't gonna lie. You're on the bench.
Blow your own nose, man.
Yeah, like, come on, man. You don't need me to do that, But, hey, he going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Remember, I said it. Ty said it. I really believe that.
All right.
My East pick, I'm going back with the Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks. Solid. I think that people are not really paying attention to them as far as making a run back to the finals. They won that one ring, and everybody's just forgetting about them. They're not at full strength neither. Chris Middleton is still out. Once they bring him back, it changed the whole dynamic of that team. But I have them coming out of the East. And of course, in the West, I got the Warriors because I'm a huge – that's another – you're going to know I'm a huge Steph fan.
Yes,
after the Knicks, after the New York Knicks, it's Steph Curry.
Not the Warriors? It's not the Warriors?
I like the Warriors, but I like Steph Curry. That's my guy. Steph Curry's my guy. So you already know what it's like seeing, like the other night when they played the Warriors. I was so upset, the Warriors. I was mad at Steph. But anyway, Steph and the Warriors are coming out of the West. And my NBA champs, I got the Warriors again. Okay. I got them winning, but I hope he get MVP again just because I want Steph to get it again. But yeah, I got them winning. My sleeper team, I have to say Portland Trailblazers. They started out strong out the gate. Dame went down. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be out, but once he come back, that dynamic is going to be crazy again because Simon's like replacing C.J. McCollum. Yep. Simons is really stepping his game up. I even see him take a few shots from Dame range. Hey, I mean, Chauncey got them boys playing out there.
$100 million to do that.
Yeah, right? You get a little green light on that with the paycheck. But yeah, I got them as a sleeper team. My breakout performer, I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks.
Oh, surprise.
Yes, surprise. Jalen Brunson. Now, let's keep it real here, all right? Jalen Brunson made a hell of a run in Dallas during the playoff stretch when Luka was down. He put up some numbers. So at that point, I feel like nobody really knew him until then. Like, he was a decent play with the backup, but then he showed that he can lead, which he did. Now on the Knicks, same thing with him. He got paid. He got a nice contract. A lot of people don't agree with that. As a Knicks fan, I didn't agree with it neither, but I wanted to see if he would earn it. So far, he's earned it. This guy, he's not completely a closer, but he's been closing games for the Knicks. And I'm like, he makes the right pass. He doesn't take bad shots. He doesn't force anything. He's very controlled. So that is my predictions. Now, in the generation debate, we're going to be talking about Luka Doncic and Larry Bird, Larry Legend.
Third quarter, y'all. Third quarter.
Yeah, but back to the generational debate. I the middle in age out of us. LeVar's the elder statesman, Ty's the youngest. So a lot of times we chose these two players, Larry Bird and Luka Doncic, because some people adamant, oh, you couldn't play in this era, you couldn't play in that era. So people love to say the old era couldn't play now. But the last time I checked, Luka Doncic can't jump over a phone book. I mean, he's not the fastest person in the world. And he leads the NBA in scoring. So if you lead the NBA in scoring, you're obviously doing something right at 35 points per game. Dang. So, Var, you being the elder statesman, I didn't have the privilege of watching Larry Bird live. I watched the clips and stuff like that. So let me ask you, how do you think Larry Bird would play or fare in this era, today's NBA?
I think there's certain players that's generational and they will transcend in any era. So you could put Larry Bird in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I don't care what generation you play him in. Put him down, he could play. As long as he got some sneakers, because he's a killer. When you look at it, like we were talking about the other night, Ty, like when you watch these, clips or you watching a game from 10, 20 years ago, it's different because you see the like seeing the impact and watching the game during that time, it was different. We spoke about how Magic and Bird saved the NBA. Right. But I was a big Laker fan at that time, loved Magic Johnson, Showtime Lakers, loved that team. And if you liked the Lakers, you hated the Celtics and vice versa. But you had to respect, like I said, I'm not a Steph Curry fan, but you have to respect it. There's no way you say you like the sport of basketball and don't like Steph Curry. He's a transitional player. Like, he transitioned the game. The way he shoots the ball, like, it changed and revolutionized the game. Larry Bird, 6'9", like you said, can't jump over a phone book, but he's getting you 27 a game, 28 a game, 13 rebounds, 7, 8 assists, and he's guarding, he's tough. You're not punking him. And he was the best shit talker in the game. Case in point, his man Kevin McHale dropped, what did he drop, 50 one night? But Bird said I'm going to top the NBA. He had like 55 the next game. I think he played left-handed too versus Portland. So talk your shit. Like, Larry Bird is one of those players who will kill you. So like when I say, and I like having these generational talks because like sometimes you can't speak on what you don't know. Right. So you got to do your research, right? But I don't like older guys who also say that era was they may feel it's the best era, but don't say that. Don't try to shit on this era now because these young boys are special. The game is played differently, so you got to respect. You got to have an open mind. So me, when I'm in a room, I like to listen because I don't know. I don't know it all. I'm not gonna act like I know it all, but I like to hear all sides and then try to make a honest.
I appreciate
that. After
Take a man to admit that they don't know everything either, because in these conversations, people just think their way is the way and that's it. So, Ty, I'm gonna pass it to you. But I'm going to switch the question around. How do you think Steph Curry would fare in the physical 80s and 90s?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I think Steph would have a shortened career. It would be short.
Wow.
Because the physicality, I'm not saying he can't take hits or nothing like that, but it's different. The way that Steph can – it'll be harder for him to get a shot off. I mean, for him to be as deep as he is, shooting the ball from 35 feet out, I mean, he'll probably drop a few. But as far as breaking the defender down, going to the rack, the high floaters that he throw up off the glass or whatnot, they're going to knock him down. And I don't think that he can stand that. How many years he has now? I think he's like 12, 13 in.
Steph, one of the older statesmen now. Sounds crazy.
He's 34.
Steph is an OG in the NBA now.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. Yeah, I don't think he would fit in. Not fit in, but I don't think that he would have a long career playing back then in the 80s and early 90s. But as far as this debate with Luka and Larry Legend, I like both. I can't pick a side. Like I said, I'm the youngest here, so I definitely watch NBA TV. Hardwood Classics. Anybody you guys know Hardwood Classics. I watch a couple of games, but I like to compare teams, not just the individual talent. Come on, everybody knows Boston. When you think of Boston, like you say, you think of the Lakers, Showtime Lakers, but Boston was a juggernaut. I mean, you it's not just Larry Bird. I mean, you had Johnson, Dennis Johnson,
Robert
Parrish. Like you had some players, Danny Ainge. Like these guys, it was a great team. Like they had team. And then when you think about Luka, I mean, some people may not agree with it either, but I put Luka in the same conversation, not as far as his accolades so far, not the championships, but like what LeBron went through early in his career. Like when you think about Luka's teammates, his team, he never had a team like Larry Bird. But I also think that Luka is the closest, and I think he'll be the one. He's the one capable of breaking Russell Westbrook's triple-double record. I think that he's that player that can do that.
That's big shoes to fill. To say he could break Russ, but
what is he? What year is he in?
is he at 4 or 5, if I'm not
Is
mistaken?
it 4 or 5 for Luka?
Yeah.
All right, so this year 4 or 5 for Luka. Westbrook is at 180 something, almost 190. I think Luka has what? Luka is, I don't even know the exact number, but Luka is up there. If we can get that, Jokic. Jokic had 50 career, something like that, triple doubles. So Jokic and Luka, those are the top 2 guys I have there. Now Larry Bird, we knew he was a killer, he was a trash talker, but when it comes to them two, it's hard because they kind of have the same style of play. I mean, Larry Bird just shoot over anybody. Luka, he like that step back. Like you say, he can't jump over a phone book, neither one of them. But they're killers.
That's true.
This
is true.
I think they just equal. I can't really. I think that Luka is more of a point guard. Mm-hmm. He controls the flow of the game a little more than Larry. Larry was able to get assists to find teammates, but overall, I think they're one and the same.
I agree, but just to answer your question, Luka's at 50 currently, and Russ is at 194. So he got a long way to go, but it's saying.
Oh yeah, he got some years ahead of him.
So Mo, let me ask you a question, right? Because if we had player A and player B with no names, right? Who would you pick and why?
So when it comes to stats, when I like to rate players, I'm kind of I don't go specifically off stats. I gotta do the eye test, and I like longevity. So you can have great stats for a 2-3 year period, and then there's guys who got decent stats for a 15, 16 year period. So me personally, I would go with the guy who's done it for a longer period of time. But if we're going over just say one season and player A, if it's comparable or whatever, I mean, not knowing, I might go with the guy with the better stats. Mm-hmm. But if I watch the game, I could give you a better answer off that. And now, to go further with that, a lot of people just look at stats. You'll ask somebody who's better, like, oh, he averages this, that, and the third, and you'll think that makes him a better player, which is totally not the case. And I'll give you an example. Somebody like Draymond Green, who I'm not a fan of at all.
Of course not.
He's if you ask me, is Draymond Green good? I would tell you no, and twice on Sunday, no. But the Golden State Warriors have 4 championships, and I don't think they would have one if he wasn't on that team. So as great as Steph Curry is, top 10 player all time, without Draymond Green, without his culture, what he brings to the team, him allowing everybody else to play their role, I don't think Golden State will have a championship. Not 3, 4, 2, A. And I'll stand on that. And then you can have somebody like James Harden. I was having a conversation with my friend Sharif. Shout out to my friend Sharif. He loves James Harden. He tells me, oh, Harden averaged a triple-double. He's a walking 60. Playoffs come, he's nowhere to be found. So all of that, to do that in the playoffs and not have anything to show for it. Everybody can't win a championship, I understand. But you got to maintain that same level of play. You shouldn't go down.
So you're heavy on impact.
Impact. If you're not doing it when it counts, I can't rock with you.
I like that. And like I said, I like what you said about Draymond. Like, his stats aren't the best, but he's the glue to that team, and he makes them go.
Follow us, Bench Talk _718. Just like Var just said, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Pay attention. You have to follow the page to find out what's next. And this is the fourth quarter. We transition into the fourth quarter, y'all. Yeah, it's crunch time.
Shout out to Ty, man. If you follow that Bench Talk page, Ty's the architect of that page, man. So just follow us. We post questions up there. We post Bench Talk Player of the Day. And then just like if you don't watch ESPN and you scrolling through Instagram and you want to find out what happened in the league, tune in to Bench Talk, man. Because you're going to find out who did what. You're going to get stats. You're going to get your daily updates. But it's not just NBA. We're going to be live. We're going to be also talking about the high school season. That's going to be a show. Going to have a high school preview because this year, you got some diaper dandies with this freshman class, this 2026 class special coming in. New York City is getting back on the map, so that's going to be a show. We're going to pose questions. And we also said we're coming live to your hood. We're going to be on your bench asking you about who's the nicest, what's going on, who raps, the clothes, everything. We want to find out what's going on in your hood, and we coming to every hood out there and showing love, man. That's what the show is all about.
Dwight Howard, 19-year guy, currently playing in Taiwan. Played the game, had about 38 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. Does Dwight Howard belong in the NBA today?
Of course. Hands down. He belongs in the NBA. This bothers me. You would think that he's a family member of mine because I don't understand why he's not in the league. I mean, this guy over his career, throughout his career, 15 points, 11 rebounds. That don't jump out at you, but this guy used to be a walking 2020, 2015, especially in Orlando. Won a championship with the Lakers. The bubble season, a lot of people don't respect the bubble ring, but he got it. And he deserved one. This is like the same thing that happened with Melo a few years ago. Like, guys that belong in the league, they don't have in the league. This guy went across seas, and some guys, they'll call him a bum or whatnot. He can't shoot free throws, this and that. This guy's shooting step-back jump shots in Taiwan, shooting threes, getting assists, all these things. Now, we do know that everyone in the NBA was one of the greats from wherever they're from. Like, some people act like they forget that. Even guys like Patrick Beverley. Like, people don't like him. They call him a bum, but he was nice where he came from.
At some point in time, everybody in the NBA was the best player on their team somewhere. High school, college, somewhere they were the best at one point in time.
Hands down. Just because we didn't see them at that point, they're following a role that they're given. With Dwight, he voiced where he wanted to go. He said he was willing to go back to the Lakers. They didn't give him a contract. He said he's willing to join the Warriors, like DeMarcus Cousins did a few years ago, just to get in the league. They didn't give him a contract. So Dwight is better than half of the centers in the league. When you think about the centers in the league, there's not many that pop out. You won't even, outside of the star players that are centers, who's the names that come up?
I mean, I think the game has transitioned where we don't have back-to-the-basket centers anymore, so Dwight Howard might be the last or one of the last Mohicans of that type of ball. So now everything is 5 and out, pick and pop. If you can't guard the pick and roll, then what's your what good are you? But Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. He's an Olympian. You have guys like, and one of you guys said it, you have like JaVale McGee in the league. You have Steven Adams in the league. These guys are rebounders, bruisers, they do their role, but I feel like Dwight Howard should retire in the NBA jersey and shouldn't have to. Not to say it's a smack in the face, because there's a lot of guys, a lot of my close personal friends who have lucrative contract, careers overseas. But I feel like in regarding Dwight Howard, he should finish his career with an NBA jersey on.
I agree, but let me play devil advocate to piggyback off your player A, player B conversation. So if I said player A has been All-NBA numerous times, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion, should that player be in the NBA? You're going to say, of course.
Right.
But also, now, this is Dwight Howard, so like we said, the NBA would transition to the way the game is played. We're shooting 53s a night. If I put him in a pick and roll, can't guard anybody, you're going to foul out. So as a general manager or a team president, do I want to pay this guy $2-3 million to take up a roster spot because of your cachet, so to speak? Can you play in the NBA? Yes. Does your style of play fit my team is the question. Are you willing to come in and play a role? Like you said with Carmelo, when he was out the league, before he got back in, he took coming off the bench as an insult. He said, hey, they talking about they want me to come off the bench. Yeah, right. Melo, you got to come off the bench. Yeah, Dwight Howard, you might play 4 minutes or you might not play for 10 games. And I think because of who these guys are, top 75 players, Dwight should have made that list, by the way. I think you get to a point in your career where your skill set doesn't match your name, and that's where he's at right now. And I think it's just a shock. This is probably the first time in his life that he's been told no as a basketball player. You've been the best basketball player since you're 12 years old, and you're getting close to 40. And that's reality setting in. So does he belong in the NBA? Yes. Where? I can't answer that.
But one thing I want to say here at Bench Talk 718, we're going to keep it real, right? So just got to keep it real. Dwight Howard got himself out the league. When he got hurt, which he had the right to be hurt, that he didn't make that all-time 75 list, they made sure he didn't get in the league. He couldn't get a job, which I don't understand, because even in today's game, obviously the regular season, people put up their numbers, it doesn't matter. But when it slows down in the playoffs, when you got to get the best out of 7, you think about what they've been doing lately in the last couple of years, automatically, the point guard asks for the pick and roll to get the center on the mismatch, clear it out. Let me kill his center. Dwight is one of the very few centers that could somewhat stay with them. Mm-hmm. If you got a person like Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, those type of guys, caliber players that can shoot from all the way out there, he doesn't want to press up on them, but they'll blow past him. He has to depend on his teammates. But overall, them trying to run away from them, blow past him, we seen Dwight chase those guys down. Like, no, you're not gonna do that, or make a good block or the good contest on a step back jump shot or whatnot. So the guy can still play the game. Yeah, the game evolved or whatnot, but I truly believe he's not in the league because he has so much to say about the NBA's decision on the great 75 players.
I also think that's a good point, Ty. Who's the they? Like, who's the they that decides who doesn't get into the league, right? And I think that's another, that's another topic we could discuss. But I feel as the way the game is played now, it's too much pick and pop. Like, even if you watch youth basketball, there's a fast break. We were taught to run to the basket and layup. These kids run at 3-point spots, So if I have a coach and I have a guy like Dwight Howard, I'll have him rolling to the basket trying to get dunks while he's in the game instead of rolling out to a 3-point line for a jump shot. Like, I don't want to watch everybody shoot jump shots all game. So that's my old school part kicking in.
That's the Steph Curry effect also. These kids watch basketball. If you're 10 years old, you've been watching basketball for the past 10 years, you've seen Steph Curry win 4 championships, 2 MVPs, shooting from half court. So everybody can't dunk. I don't want to speak for everybody. Everybody can't dunk.
That's fair.
Or just, play above the rim. But everybody can go grab a basketball and throw it or shoot it. So Steph Curry gives people, I want to say, who can't play or do certain things, the physical attribute. Steph Curry looks like one of the guys walking down the street as opposed to a mutant like Dwight Howard. So it's more of a relatable to Steph and like, oh, I could do that. I can get a basketball and shoot as opposed to breaking a backboard or getting 20 rebounds. So
that's true.
That's another thing too.
Steph gets the blame all the time for that. I mean, it's crazy because Steph was born in the game, right? He surpassed his father as far as stardom, championships, whatnot. He always gives respect. Just shout out to his brother, also Steph Curry, which nobody talks about. I like Steph also. But Steph been shooting on NBA rims since he was about 8 or 9. And I mean, shooting 3-pointers. Him and his brother having 3-point shootouts with Vince Carter. Like, that's something that they talked about as well. But I feel like you cannot blame Steph. A lot of people blame him, but just because he's doing it, that don't mean the kids have to go out there and do that. I think that, like, for example, Michael Jordan in that era, when he was jumping all over the place, come fly with me, his hang time, all that good stuff, kids couldn't do that because they're not tall enough to jump off 1 foot and do that or jump off 2 feet like Dominique. But people look at Steph and the kids go, wait a minute. He's shooting, so I can shoot too. But he gets the bulk of the blame for that. But you have to know how to shoot. Like LeVar said, you're from the old school, but that's a bad play, right? But the oohs and ahs, some people play for that. But then if you miss, see, Steph Curry is the reason why the game is messed up because these kids think they can do that, and he's the reason why he take all those bad shots. But majority of the shots like that he makes. So what's the excuse for the other kids? If we're going to go by old school rules, because I was coached by an old school coach, we take a shot like that, sub, you're on the bench. Bench talk _718 on Instagram. Yeah, we're on the bench. So some of these coaches are allowing it. They might yell at them, hey, come on, what are you doing? And then 2 possessions later, they're taking that same shot. So how are we teaching them? That plays a part too. You have to let them know that's not okay.
Youth basketball, whole nother day, whole nother topic.
Yeah. So much to cover, so much time.
Leave Steph alone.
We're going to be here. Once again, follow us. We could continue these conversations at Bench Talk _718. Our personal page, Mobama, Vu Folk, Ty Rich 90. Appreciate everybody tapping in with us or whatever, giving back to y'all. Appreciate y'all interaction.
And if you guys out there following us, you want to pose a question, please go on the page, pose your question, and we'll definitely have you up here. And we'll definitely, let you guys know. The feedback is important. We want to know, like I said, is the bench. It's a part of the culture. It's important to know what's important to you.
Remember, once again, follow us, Bench Talk _718. Follow S Street Media, YouTube channel, also Instagram, S Street Media. Show them some love. Thank you for the platform, S Street Media. We appreciate that. Once again, you got our personal Instagram pages, but the most important one is Bench Talk _718.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Math, man. Shout out to O, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Like we said, we don't have friends, we have family, and we don't fuck with everybody. So we fucking with we're in the right place, man. And we're grateful to do business with y'all. We're gonna keep this thing going, and we're just gonna grow from here, man.
Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Put that on, man.
It's that bench talk. You gon' watch that bench talk. It's that bench talk. Listen to Curry when he had the three. I'm feeling like Ja, you can't guard me. Yeah, I'm a Grizzly, stronger than Bane. We ain't the same. You more like Kawhi, cause you never playing. I'm feeling like Giannis when he in the paint. I'm more like Embiid, I'm bringing the pain. Yeah, that bench talk, playing like a starter, but we still go watch that bench talk. Big stepper on the court, yeah, extra steps. I been raw, Euro step, hero on the heat. I'm Spike Lee at the Garden, and I'm gonna always have my seat at the bench talk. Kyrie with the handle, I dismantle you. Put up big numbers in New York like that boy Randall do. I'm KD or AD, yeah, either way we winning. Jason Tatum never miss a layup, great from the beginning. Yeah, that bench talk, it's that bench talk. We gon' listen to that bench talk, it's that bench talk. We gon' go and watch that bench talk. Yeah, that bench talk, it's that bench talk, it's that bench talk.